Well, hello. I'm a proud American Jew. Actually, I'm more than Jew than American. But I'm mostly American Jew. So I believe in God. The purpose of believing in God is to know that only God ruled the world. That means humans are children of God, and God is our Father. And fathers usually love their own children. Here and there, they might hate them, they might punish them. So, therefore, we as children have to take good and bad and to know that even God gave something bad, there is always something good in it. So therefore, every bad turn to become a good thing because God knows the difference. There have been many plagues around the world since creation. And human paid a high price for those plagues. There are plagues that created by human, but all human are children of God, including Chinese. So, if God created Chinese to create the virus and attack the world with it and kill hundreds of thousands, pretty soon millions, meaning God had a purpose. And out of all that misery that God created by the plague in the hand of China, there is a good that comes out of it. And that's human victory and a freedom of a humanity. Now, what's the connection? There's a huge connection to it. We the Jews prayed 3 times a day, and in it hundreds of prayers. One of the most important prayers is the song that the Jews sang when they get out of Egypt and they cross the ocean. Vayosha Adonai, and God freed the Jews from the Egyptian, meaning their slavery is ended. So, how God did it? By his servant Moses and Aaron. God also didn't nominate Donald J. Trump, but he designated to be on this time, very critical time in humanity, to be president of the United States. Now, the effect of presidency of the United States in this critical time maybe is not known by the media, maybe is not known by many Americans, because they look at it as very wrong angle. President Trump basically shaken the American inner policy and a foreign policy. By doing that, he created a strong and powerful nation with a strong economy, getting out of the wars in the world, bringing American home, bringing soldiers home, not warmongering at all, despite the image. The image is a powerful, strong man. A man that, like many generals of many good armies, they run ahead of the soldiers and they face the enemy. That's why, for example, IDF is the best army in the world. Why? The generals are ahead of the soldiers. in any occasion, in any war that Israel had till these days, always the generals were on front of the line. Trump did not serve in the army. Trump has made his money as a hard-working man. That's why he's a multi-billionaire and deserves every penny that he made because he works 18, 20 hours a day. This is the man that American elected. Of course, he's a human, and every human has a flaw. We're not perfect. No one is perfect. No one. Only God is perfect. So despite his flaw as a human that are not so much. I mean, look at it. The man does not drink in a land that the drink is the most consumption material on earth. Americans drink a lot. Beer, wine, whiskey. Why they drink? Because drink is a drug that takes you out of the reality. The man does not smoke, meaning he's healthy. He probably drink milk. I don't know, milk is healthy. But he loves to eat. So what? I don't know if anybody remember Eric Sharon. Eric Sharon was an Israeli general that fought in 1973 and crossed the Suez Canal along with number of tanks, and he reached almost 40 kilometers from Cairo, capital of Egypt. Eric Sharon went against all the supposedly expert in Israeli army, and he battled that battle alone. Incredible decision. Eric Sharon was rewarded, was hated because he was a right man, from Likud party. And the establishment that was then the left, why the left in Israel was diminished after 1973 war, and the right took over the country, and since then the country became incredible economy, number one maybe in the world, technologically and strongly army-wise. Sharon became prime minister, and during his time there were a lot of demonstration against him by the leftists. There were a lot of terror attack by Arafat, number one terrorist that won Nobel Prize. Yeah, same with Barack Hussein Obama. And now that Trump is nominated 3 times for the same prize, is not mentioned once in American broadcasting or communication system, or whatever you call it. I don't know anymore. Propaganda machine. Trump is a lion. And as a lion, he had to face the virus and the COVID-19. And when he got it, he fought it and proved it that this is a dangerous virus, but we can overcome, meaning you can have it and be a little bit ill, and then you get out of it free. Now that he's infected and he had the COVID, he can go without mask. That's per scientific data that we have. Anyway, he's immune from the sickness because he already had it. Also, Melania is immune from the sickness because she had it. And everybody else that had it is immune. I'm immune. I had COVID around April 18. Felt a lot of pressure on my chest. I'm the same age as Trump. But I'm underlined. I have COPD, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidneys, what else? My goodness, all the stuff that the doctor telling me I have. And I called my friend, and my friend told me what to do. Dr. Goodkin, 102 years old man that delivered 24,000 babies, immediately told me to take every hour within the next 12 hours raw of garlic, and for that to taste better, you take some butter and bread and put around it, or bread and butter a little bit, and just have it for 12 hours. And I did it, and I was cured within 24 hours. I did not feel any pressure on my chest. My breathing came back to normal. I never had a fever because I couldn't get even a thermometer to check my fever from any pharmacy. The pharmacies were closed. Well, they were open, but no thermometer. Thermometers went faster than near to the toilet papers. Why? Why all that happened? The virus basically is a psychological weapon that was unleashed by the Chinese, globalists, and Democrats on the United States of America to stop the fast-paced economy development of the United States and Western society to escape from a China trap. Many do not know that United States of America built Europe after World War II. United States of America also built China after Nixon visit in China, that he wanted supposedly to open some diplomatic relation. And that was one of our biggest mistake that the United States ever done in foreign policy assessment. Surprisingly, Ronald Reagan did not go after Chinese as he did against Russian or USSR, and allowed China to go forward. That was one of the biggest mistakes of United States foreign policy, by adopting China's policy. Ronald Reagan discovered the mistake and went head-to-head to China, like he went head-to-head with COVID. You have a problem, you find a solution. He supplied medical record, medical facilities all over. To New York, build a hospital, never used. Send a ship, never used. To LA, send ship, never used. Yet, the left found a reason for a fall of American shutdown that was done by Donald Trump to save life. The first graph that they submitted showed over 2 million deaths. Fauci and Dr. whatever her name was, they're all globalists and they're all for the vaccine. And Trump did whatever he had to do. What did he do? Emergency. He poured billions of dollars to economy. He poured billions of dollars with FEMA. Actually, when the emergency came over, FEMA took over. And because the presidency has so much power during emergency, but FEMA has tremendous amount of power. So FEMA managed to do right. President Trump basically activated the arm of the United States government to do what he had to do. Yet, 24 hours, he was rejected, and laughed at for anything that he tried to beat the COVID. Finally, he got lucky. God brought COVID on Donald Trump for a reason. For Donald Trump to enter hospital front eyes of the millions, if not billions of humanity, and beat the damn virus in 4 days or 3 days that was in hospital. So Donald Trump overcome the enemy described by DNC, the enemy created by DNC in Chinese. And by the way, because I told my story of the garlic in Facebook, I was jailed. That was against their policy for me to prescribe what happened to me. I didn't impose it on anybody. I didn't advertise for a garlic. I didn't make any money on it. I didn't want to make any money on it. I don't think that way. That medicine was good for me. The garlic could be good for many other people. Now, Israeli scientists, a laboratory in Israel, just 2 days ago, they found a medication and they gave it to 5 COVID patients, and all 5 of them miraculously cured in 3 or 4 days. Meaning, there is a solution for the problem. So COVID, that was a subject of election, and they're trying to make it a political subject, is out of the political discussion. Donald J. Trump, a 74 years old man, a little bit overweight, loves hamburger and tacos. So what? Does not drink, does not smoke, doesn't take drugs, is in a good shape, his heart in a good shape, his lung in a good shape, goes to the hospital and tries medicine that has not been tested or been tested on some other patients, feel it on his body, feels what he feels to be a COVID patient, and gets out with a strong arm out of the hospital, beating the COVID-19. COVID-19 is beatable. It was known from the first second that he came by me. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a Jewish guy that think reality. Like Donald Trump, I don't take drugs. And like Donald Trump, I smoke 2-pack cigarettes a day, despite having a COPD. Because I know the day that I'm going to die is in God's hand. Actually, while we're talking about blessings and curses, this week is Sukkot. And next Saturday, we're going to read about all the blessing that Moses gave to the Jews the day that he died. Moses knew that his time come because God told him, your time is came. You have to go now. No excuses. You're not going to enter Israel even though you work hard for it. I'm going to show you the land of Israel, the land that I promised to son of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The land that I promised to Joseph. And he took him up on the mountains, Har Nebo, mountains of Nebo, and showed him the land from north to the west, to the south, to the desert, and he saw the land. And he said, this is the promised land, but you're not going to go into it. The reason Moses did not go into it because he did not obey God command that told them about the stone, to talk to the stone for water. That was very unusual in the desert. And I don't know why, instead of talking to the stone, he beat the stone twice. Hit it with his, whatever it was in his hand, stick. And God didn't like it. God punished Moses, the man that he faced many, many times. Only prophet in this world that spoke to God face to face. Only true prophet of the world. Therefore, we as a Jew, we believe all the blessing of the God comes upon all the nation of the world, including Donald Trump. So Donald Trump took the blessing of Moses that died just this week. He was born on 7 of Tammuz and died on 7 on Tammuz. By now that we're ending the reading of the Torah and starting the Torah from the beginning, Bereshit, he knew that he was going to die, therefore he has to bless nation of Israel. And his blessing remain on the countries that believe in God. His blessing remains on people. Low battery. I have a low battery, I cannot talk. So, blessing of God upon Donald J. Trump that beat the COVID because he had a heart. End of the blessing of this week ends with El. The beginning of the Torah is start with B. L and B is Lev. Lev is heart in English. So therefore, because of good-hearted Donald J. Trump, God saved them from COVID to win the election. Trump 2020.